Hello guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video I will talk about what Kubo revealed about the identity and the truth of Nozarashi and Yachiru's relationship with the matter. I previously made a video on this topic and explained my point of view before Kubo posted his answer on Club Outside, and according to the translation of Kubo's answer, it seems that I was right on 50% and wrong on the other half. So first of all, I have to go back to the video that I published about Yachiru and Nozarashi in order to review some of the important points in it. So I was clear from the start, as I said, that I have no problem with Yachiru being Zaraki's zanpakuto. If only Kubo can explain to us what happened in the scene of the chapter 527. Who is the person who was calling Zaraki and Zaraki could not find out his identity? And also, how could Zaraki talk to his zanpakuto by saying its name, which is Nozarashi, while he still considered Yachiru as before, just his follower? For all of this, I believed that whoever was calling Zaraki in chapter 527 is another person, and that Nozarashi itself is another character, not Yachiru. Based on this belief that Nozarashi is not Yachiru, I even denied the possibility of Yachiru being a Bankai, and here where I have mistaken, because I said as long as Nozarashi is someone else, surely the Bankai will also be the same person, because I relied on what happened to Kyoraku when he released the Bankai. Katenkyo cuts stayed the same and wasn't someone else, and I didn't want to take the example of the fake Tensa Zangetsu and the Osan, because simply those were the Quincy power of Ichigo, not his Shinigami power. But Kubo's answer, according to the translation I have and from what I understand now, it explains several things. So the fan was wondering about Yachiru's identity. If she really was his zanpakuto, how she could gain the power of a Shinigami and have a zanpakuto? And here Kubo replies that Yachiru is actually a form of Nozarashi's Bankai that has separated from the main body, which means for some reason Yachiru separated from Nozarashi and Nozarashi remained in the sword that Zaraki was carrying while Yachiru was in the outside world, and when Zaraki met her he gave her the name Yachiru. And here Kubo adds that when he gave her the name she got the power of Shinigami. I mean, we can say that what Zaraki did with little Yachiru is like what Ichibi do when he gives the names to things. When Ichibi gave a name, he gives the names and its power. So I'm not saying it's the same process, but something like that. Zaraki, in somehow, when he gave Yachiru its name, he gave her the power of Shinigami. I don't know how Zaraki originally had this ability to give Shinigami power, but this is how Kubo explained Yachiru's obtaining the power of Shinigami. And here Kubo adds the important point where he says the real manifestation of Nozarashi is an adult woman, and this shows that whoever was calling Zaraki in chapter 527 was another person, which is Nozarashi, the adult woman. And that's why Zaraki never thought that Yachiru belonged to his zanpakuto, because he already knew Nozarashi, the woman, and therefore he thought that this topic was over. My zanpakuto is Nozarashi, an adult woman, while Yachiru is just my vice captain. Therefore, even during his fight against Grimy, he called his zanpakuto Nozarashi, as if he really knew her completely, which means he saw her true form while little Yachiru was still outside playing with Isani. And as I said in my previous video, that when Zaraki released his Shikai, he was able automatically to communicate with Nozarashi, and Yachiru at that moment returned to him as his total strength, and later appeared as his Bankai. And Kubo told the fan that he would understand the situation if he imagined it like the case of Tensa Zangetsu and the Osan. And so, I think now the things have become clear for everyone. Nozarashi is a Shikai, an adult woman, and it is the main incarnation of Zaraki's zanpakuto, whereas Yachiru is the form of the Bankai that was separated from the main body and remained in the outside and then returned to Zaraki after he connected to his zanpakuto. And the funny thing is, if you remember, I have made a video before about how all those who have a female zanpakuto got attached to a woman in their past. So I mentioned Kyorako with his brother's wife, Azashiro with his sister, and now we have Zaraki with Nozarashi, which was formed as an adult woman, and it's clear a reference to his attachment to Yachiru Onohana, the first Kenpachi. So in the end, guys, beside this answer, I think we will have more explanation when the anime comes, and now I'm so excited to see the shape of Nozarashi. Definitely it will be like Yachiru, a bloody woman. So guys, tell me your opinions about this matter and see you in my next video.